Hello. Today was my fourth day of college ever, and honestly, I love it so far. I love it's kind of strong, but I really am liking it so far. It's been like so busy, and I haven't really had a busy. That sounds really depressing, like I haven't been busy in a long time, but I really haven't all summer. I did stuff, but it was all kind of, personal in my room stuff. Like it still felt like productive, like working on music, working on learning guitar. I had like a couple little adventures, maybe, I don't know. I saw like one friend, but now it's been like 4 days of like constant busy stuff, which I'm sure eventually, give it a couple weeks and I'll be exhausted and I'm gonna be like, I don't want to get up and out of bed. But I'm kind of like I'm looking forward to that feeling. Like I prefer being too busy to an extent than being like feeling lazy, which again, like I feel like I've been doing pretty decent with like setting goals and projects for myself. It's easy when you have free time, when you're, you know, a kid living under someone's roof, you don't have a job at the moment, you're not in school. It's easy to just kind of like sink into your bed and just rot all day. I've definitely done that before. But I think I've done a good job at, holding myself accountable to some like productivity, not just being completely useless or, in my opinion, useless. But now that I have school, again, it's only 4 days in. I'm taking like a decent amount of classes. I'm taking 18 credits, which like maximum's the maximum amount. Actually, yesterday I went to my college advisor because I heard of this other cool class that I wanted to add, and she was like, no, you can't add it because that's too many credits, and they don't usually give like freshmen more credits. But I don't know. This sounds like so nerdy, but when I was like signing up for my classes, like before the start of the semester, I went on the college website and I like looked because they have like a list of like every single class they offer and like a little description of it, and I like wrote down all the ones I was interested in, and I ended up having like a whole like page like with like 3 columns of like all the classes I was interested in, and even if I went to that school for like 4 years, I probably couldn't have done all of them. But at least I think I only got like a couple in because I still have to do like the like basic. I have to take a math class. I have to take a history class. I'm doing a writing major, but I have to do an English class. And I think next semester I'll have to do a science class, which, at least I'm doing math this semester. I don't hate math, but I'm glad I'm getting out of the way this semester, so I have more free space, hopefully next semester. But I've honestly been kind of jealous already. It's only like the fourth day, but I chose like a writing major because my reasoning is my biggest like passion, I think, is just music and just telling. I don't know. I'm 16. I haven't figured out my biggest passion yet, but I love music, and I love the idea of like traveling, just hearing people's stories and writing and stuff. And I love documentaries. That's like another thing that these last couple days I'm taking a audio video class where we have to learn how to like run a radio station. We have to we'll do other like sound effects. We'll have to record ourselves and just like other little independent projects. Like sounds like an interesting class. I'm excited for that one. But already I'm kind of like, what if I was like a media major? Like what if I was doing more film classes? Because that sounds really interesting. Like I love documentaries. I love biographies. I've read a ridiculous amount of biographies, and if I'm gonna watch a movie or a show, I've said this like a million times, but I have a bad habit of just like, not like a bad habit, but I just can't usually let myself sit down and watch like a whole show or a whole fictional movie because like that little part of my brain's like, you have to be learning something. So that's why I like documentaries, and I just generally like learning about other people. I like seeing other people's lives. Maybe that's kind of why I talk on here sometimes. If there's like someone who is just curious about this random girl's life. But I love the idea of like, I don't know, just because I'm taking that one like audio class, and just, I was kind of like, what if I was doing like documentary classes? Because apparently those exist too. I put that on my list. Like I love documentaries, so it's like another thing. It's like I'm already like jealous of people who are doing like full film majors or music majors too, because I'm already taking so many music classes. If you were to look at my schedule, you'd probably assume I'm a music major because I only have one English class. I don't know why my like advisor didn't sign me up for more writing classes like I would have assumed. Maybe I have to do English 101 first because it's like the most basic one. But like I'm taking more music classes than like any other subject, so you would assume I'm a music major. And I kind of wish I was, but I don't know. I don't know if this is like, in my head, I have the feeling that if I got like a music degree, it would be kind of useless. Not like the knowledge I learned would be useful, but I think like if some company or I don't know, a prospective employer looked at my degree, they'd probably be like, oh, what are you gonna do with a music degree? Because obviously, ideally, ideal world, I would be a musician. Or now that I'm taking that video class, it's probably I switch up too fast, but I'm already kind of thinking like, oh, what if I were to like film documentaries or something like that, Because my idea was already kind of like writing something. What I want to do, something either with music, something with writing that involves like traveling and writing about that, or like writing about other people, or like filming other people, like documentaries or mockumentaries, you know. Those are my three. I mean, at least they're like semi-related, you know, they're all creative. I mean, at least I'm not saying like I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an artist, a chef, and a gardener. I'm sure there's someone out there who does all three of those things. Some of them can be hobbies, but yeah, at least they're all like kind of art related, which I know art isn't like the most respected career, but you know, who the fuck cares? I don't care about respect. I mean, maybe sometimes I do, but I feel like I care. I do care, obviously, because I'm jealous, but I'm more jealous, like, and not in the sense like I want people to perceive me as a film student or a music student or a writing student. I just like want to perceive myself. Like I don't compare myself with others because I'm really scared what people think of me. I mean, sometimes I am, you know. I'm not completely oblivious to what others think of me. But I think it's mainly like what I think about myself or just like what I want to hold myself accountable to, if that makes sense. But I don't know, first week I'm already jealous of my major. But I think, I don't know, maybe I'll take some more. I'm not even taking any writing classes besides English, so I'm sure there's some cool writing classes. I think next semester I'll be able to take journalism, which was like one of the ones I was looking forward to. And I also like signed up for this thing. I don't remember if it's paid or not. I mean, that'd be awesome if it's paid, but either way, I just kind of want the experience. But I signed up to do this thing where we're gonna go to like high school football games and just record, which sounds kind of like stupid, but like we're gonna be able to use like recording equipment and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was a cool opportunity, and I'm like, why not sign up for it? So that's hopefully I can do that. There's like another thing. Like there's so many like honestly, I'm going to like a small community college, and I was kind of scared that like there wouldn't be a lot of opportunities because obviously if I was going to like some, you know, you always hear about like those big schools, like how many connections, opportunities there are. And I was like, oh, this is like a really small school. Like it's, I mean, I don't really know what an average school is or college school is. I don't know how many students go to this school, but I know it is like a small community college, you know. Like there's another community college I was looking at that was like almost twice as big, and like that's already a small one. So this one's like pretty small, but they do have like a good, like I never got a tour before I started going there, and they have like a decent like film department, you know. I say film, they don't do like a film major, but they do like, I don't know, they word it differently. It's like production, telecom, it's telecommunications, that's what it's called. But they have like a bunch of recording rooms. Like I remember I was walking in there and I was like, oh my god, like what if they let me record in here? I was like, can students use this? Like, can I record myself in here? They have like a radio station, which we have to learn for our first. I don't know. I'm like kind of geeking out about it, but I'm actually kind of excited. You know, I didn't really get this in high school. High school, I was excited for the social aspect, but I think in college, or at least this my experience. This is only my first week again. I'm probably gonna like in a couple of weeks be like dreading my finals, but so far I'm more less excited about like the student aspect and more about like actually interested in my classes, which I think in general is like good. I mean, I know high school they want you to be diversely educated. I don't know, like they want you to take the mandatory math classes, the mandatory history classes. You know, there's not as much selection. I mean, I know there's like some high schools that let you like kind of hone in on a certain subject more, but I understand why a lot of high schools require you to take these classes that maybe you don't like maybe you hate math and you're like, I'm never gonna use math in my life. But I understand why like high schools want you to take math because it's just like a good foundation skill. But it really is like a lot, education gets like a lot more interesting and like actually like you feel more interested when you get to choose, which I think would be good for some high schools to apply a little more of that. But again, like I understand why they want you to learn the basics, but that's why I'm actually excited for college. Plus you know, I've already like met people who I'm like, oh yeah, we're chill, you know. I'm doing let's see, psychology, which all my classes aren't like too hard. I mean, I can't say my classes aren't too hard yet when it's literally the first week. Like that's a stupid thing for me to say. Obviously, it's not too hard yet, but I don't feel like super overwhelmed. There's only one thing. This is like the first class I've ever in my life had anxiety for, which not saying I've never had anxiety. Period. Like I think I'd be like a superwoman if I've never had anxiety, but I don't think I've ever been like anxious about a class before until this one, which is my rock ensemble class. Which is funny because before when I signed up for it, I'm like, this is gonna be not like the easiest class, but you know, because it's a basically rock ensemble. It's like a band. You make a band, like that's the class, and you have to like learn songs for it. And I was like, this will be, you know, not as stressful because it's not like we don't have to do tests, we don't have to take notes and stuff. But this is like the first class I've actually had like felt anxious about, like, because there's only four other students in this class, and they're all very skilled musicians. I mean, like they're not old, but they're all older than me. I'm 16. They're all, I mean, they're not even like old. Like I think one's 18. There's like another one who has like her like masters in like violin or something. So like she's a little oh, I'm not calling them like old like in a bad way, I'm just saying they're experienced. And I just recently got into music. I mean, I've been listening to music my whole life, but recently got into playing music in the last 2 years. I just like started trying to learn how to sing a couple months ago, and I've been playing guitar for 2 years, but I've had a couple months where I didn't play for a while, and they're all really good. And I can't even say that because I haven't even listened to all of them play. That's just like my assumption speaking. Like I've listened to a couple of them play. Some of them I haven't even heard play, but I'm just assuming they're good, which I know it isn't good to assume things. But I'm already feel overwhelmed, and this is like the first class I felt like anxious about because I'm like we already have like 3 songs we're supposed to learn by next week, and I'm like, oh my god, like that's a lot of homework. Because I've never played music with anyone else. I've always just kind of paced myself. So if I'm learning a song that I'm trying to teach myself, and that song just doesn't work for me, or obviously it could work for me if I practice enough, but I'm just like not getting it, then I can be like, okay, I'm just gonna learn a new song, or I can slowly work on it for like over the span of like months, like just do a little bit a day, or learn other songs in between. But it's like when you have an actual 4 other students and the professor like counting on you, and like already this is like only the first week. I only have that class one day a week, so I got a week, not even, I have like 5 days to learn those 3 songs on guitar. They're not easy songs either. I mean, they're not like impossible songs, and I guess it's kind of like up to my, like if I wanted I could like show up with like the simplified like 5 chord version, just strumming it, but I'm kind of trying to challenge myself and actually play it like how the songs actually are. The songs are Guns N' Roses version of Knocking on Heaven's Door, which I've kind of set myself up for that one because I know how to play the Bob Dylan version, which isn't as difficult in my opinion on guitar for Knocking on Heaven's Door. And the professor asked us all to like name a song to play, and I'm like, it's a rock, I don't know. I was just like listing artists that I like, and I said Bob Dylan. He's like, oh, pick a Bob Dylan song, we'll listen to it and see if we can do it. And I played the Knocking on Heaven's Door one, and then one of the other bandmates or whatever was like, well, I know how to play the Guns N' Roses version, so I'm like, okay, we can do that one. And then I listened back to it and I'm like, oh, this is like a lot more tricky on guitar. But that's one. We have to learn Valerie by Amy Winehouse, which doesn't seem as difficult as learning the Guns N' Roses one. And then we have to learn Black Dog by Zeppelin, which I haven't even started yet. And it's just, I mean, I'm probably sound like I'm being like dramatic, like it's like, oh, you have to learn 3 songs in a week, and they're not gonna like expect us. It's the first week. I mean, I'm sure if I was like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't master these 3 songs in a week, while it's like the first week of college and I have all these other classes, I'm sure that that world isn't gonna end. But I already have the idea that like, I don't know, I'm just assuming, which now it's not good to assume that like all these other kids are gonna, already have these whole songs memorized by next week. And I'm probably gonna like start playing, I'm gonna mess up, which I don't know, I think it's out of character for me. I mean, again, I'm not saying I never get anxious, but I've never worried about a class before, which again, that sounds like so like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so calm and collected, I've never stressed out about a class before. But I think it's just because it's a different kind. I'm good with my classes. Like I'm good with classes where you have to read and answer questions, or like traditional learning. Like I graduated 2 years early from high school, with like 90s, like and above. I've never really had much of a problem with that. But then it's kind of funny that like the thing I'm most interested in is music, and that's like the one thing that, not that's like difficult, like impossible for me, but it's just different from like I'm good at a lot of traditional things. Like I could probably get some job that requires I don't know how you word it, but just like typical learning. I'm sure I could utilize my ability to be like book smart and good at typical classes and do that with like some job, and like make a bunch of money. And yet like the thing that actually really interests me is like the one thing that doesn't really, like, not the one thing, there's plenty of things that don't come easy to me, but like the one of the things that doesn't come easy to me, which is music, even though I love it so much. And that's like the one thing that I'm like choosing to take classes on and force myself to do. Not force myself like because I don't like it, but it just doesn't come as easy to me as like other classes, which I don't know if that's like a good sign or not. I mean, obviously people kind of think like, or people, I don't know, like a lot of times I hear people say like, if it's the right thing, it should come easy, don't force it, don't force something that's not like good for you or right for you. I don't know. It's like music that, honestly, like if I'm being honest, music doesn't really come super easy for me. Sometimes it does. I have my moments, but it kind of like, fuck. I mean, again, like I'm probably sounding so dramatic because it's like you're being upset that you can't. I mean, obviously, probably some of the best musicians in the world, music didn't come easy for them. That's how it is for most people. It's hard work, but just I've had a lot of other things kind of. again, like I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm so smart, things just come easy to me. But I really have kind of breezed through like a lot of school stuff, at least American school stuff. I'm sure there's other countries where the education's harder, but at least with American school system, that hasn't really been hard for me. And it's like, so why is it like the things that come hard to me that I find interesting? Like, why couldn't I choose to be interested in like something that's easier for me? And it kind of makes me frustrated at myself because it's like, why am I not good at this thing when I'm used to being good at other things? And again, good at other, I'm just talking about like book smart, like education, and this obviously it's not everything in the world. But it makes me pissed at myself because it's like, why can I, pass these other classes so good, and then it's like, I actually want to do good in music. Like, I don't really care if I get a good grade in social studies or math or literally any other class, psychology. Like, I just want to do good in music. But it's literally only the first few classes, so I can't psych myself out yet. Maybe I'm going to come in next week and, two of the other kids are going to be like, oh yeah, I didn't have time. Or they're going to, mess up worse than me. So I'm not going to screw myself over. I've said this a million times, I have a bad habit of comparing myself to others when it comes to like something that I want to be good at, and then I see people who are better than me at that specific thing. But to like not focus on the negative, I have been enjoying, like, this sounds like, again, nerdy, but I have like kind of missed, taking notes and stuff like that. Like, I like feeling prepared for classes, I like getting assigned chapters to read and, reading them and writing down notes and then, having to take like a little quiz on it. I mean, I don't love math, but the other classes, I don't know. I miss being in school. I like being around people, I like people talking to me, like, because really the only time I'm ever around anyone who's not like the foster family I'm living with is when I go to like the grocery store. And you don't usually have people talking to you in the grocery store, so I'm always, I like having people approach me, or like being able to be around people who are not my age, but, in similar interests with me. That's like another great thing about college, besides like the whole feeling interested in the classes, but like when you choose classes you're actually interested in, you're like surrounded by other people who are interested in the same thing and interested about learning the same thing. Like, I already talked with this girl about, we should do like some sort of student film or something, even if it's like super crappy, because we're both interested in film. And she was like, yeah, I'm totally down for that, give it a couple weeks, first weeks of college, and then I think we can like take, or the school lets us like borrow some of their equipment. I'm like, let's do it, let's make like a little film, get some other students on board. I've already been like looking at like the clubs and stuff. I signed up for some like student work applications, because I've said this before in other of these me talking videos, but one of the big holdups for me not having a job right now is because I don't have my social security card, which, at least where I live, any job around here, I've applied to many jobs and they all say they can't hire me if I don't have my social security card. But I'm thinking, if it's a job on campus, they should be able to hire me because I'm a student. I assume they won't ask for the card because I'm already set up in their like system as a student, so I feel like that'd be, to kill two birds with one stone, because it would be, getting a job, and it would also be, if it's on like the film department or the music department, it would be like a job I'm actually kind of interested in. But I kind of feel like I'm like dissing my like I signed up as a writing major. I'm not taking any writing classes, and I'm not excited for any of my writing classes. And I know like majors don't really matter. Like, it's a community college. Like, my life's not gonna end if I decide to change my major or whatever. But I just feel like I'm kind of like betraying that. And I mean, not really off topic, because I'm just talking about college. That's all I've really been talking about so far. But in our library, there's like free drinks and free coffee, which I'm trying not to drink coffee. I feel like in almost every one of these videos, I end up talking about coffee at some point or another, even though it has nothing to do with anything. I'm trying not to drink too much coffee just because, as I said before, I feel like it's not good for your brain. I say that as I actively do other things that aren't good for my brain. But they have free coffee, but they have free tea, and there's like so many tea flavors. Like, me and this other student, I was like, we should try every tea flavor before the end of the semester. I'm like, oh, let's do it. But honestly, like, the only thing that's like really weighing me right now is just that rock ensemble class, and that's the only thing really stressing me out right now, which I think is pretty good. There could be a lot worse. I just gotta work on that stupid Guns N' Roses song that isn't even Guns N' Roses song. And then I'm golden. It probably didn't help that I like signed up for, if I wasn't taking as many classes as I am, then I might have more time to play and practice that song. But, maybe I'll just be that girl. Maybe I can just bring my guitar with me and just, be out in the college lobby between classes. I don't know. I also signed myself just impulsively for no reason to like be in like the school's like promotional stuff as well, like to be photographed. So I'm like, okay, let's. I'm probably gonna like regret this in a couple of weeks. I feel like I've signed up for so much stuff. Like I'm already kind of busy with just like the first week. I feel like I'm gonna fill up my plate a little too much, but you know, it's college. I'm taking advantage of this free financial aid paid for experience. You know, I'm not paying for any of it. You might as well crank my plate up, however you would word that. But I'm gonna try. I feel like another another one of the things about rock ensemble is because I kind of actively, obviously it's before college, you know, a couple weeks ago or a week ago before college, I, you know, spend at least 4 hours a day playing music, whether it's, you know, writing music, learning other songs, trying to learn piano, which I'm still very beginner in. But I think it's kind of unrealistic now to expect myself to play for 4 hours a day. I'm trying to like evaluate that because like I don't want to, you know, beat myself up. Like I don't want to have a full day of college and then like homework afterwards and be like, damn it, I didn't play my 4 hours of music today. But like I don't want to hold myself to that if it's not realistic. But I also don't want to. All in all, music is very important to me. Like that's something I want to work on. I don't want to just, you know, put that on hold. Even though I'm taking music classes, but it's not like, you know, the same. Like I want to work on my music. I feel like that's a healthy way for me to express myself. I like writing songs. I have, you know, posted a couple of me like playing my independent original songs on this channel, like on the, what's it called, the shorts. I haven't posted like a full cover of any of those songs, or I guess it wouldn't be a cover if it's my song, but it's because my voice isn't good yet. But that's another class I'm taking. On top of everything else, I'm going to be doing voice lessons. I take voice lessons outside of school that are free, but I'm going to take a class that's actually voice lessons, like independent voice lessons once a week, which I have tomorrow. I'm excited for tomorrow because I'm going to have my first voice lesson. And this is actually like an older, not like older in a mean way, but like an older experienced woman. I'm like excited, like maybe she can help me because I'm really not confident with my voice, which I want to be because I love music. But it doesn't come easy to me. Some things come really easy to me, and that's a good thing, obviously, but the things that I'm most passionate about, like trying to sing my own songs, singing really does not come easy to me. Even if I can make myself sound like half decent, it takes like 40 minutes of me trying to get, like, I don't know, I feel like I know so many people who like singing comes easy to me. I mean, comes easy to them. But at the same time, I'm comparing myself to people who've been like learning to sing since they were like 4 years old. So it's like, yeah, no shit. Like, obviously, I haven't been trying to learn how to sing until like 6 months ago, maybe a little more than that. So I can't really say that. But maybe she'll fix me. Maybe she'll teach me the ways. Because I know I can. I know I have the potential. I have the lyrics. I write my songs. I have songs I want to sing. I just need to be able to sing them. Honestly, I feel like this is like one of the most optimistic videos I've made in a hot minute. I feel like I'm usually pretty down in the slumps in these. Actually, I made a list this morning. One thing I do like about, another thing I like about college is how much like free time you have. I mean, obviously you have more work than high school typically, but you have like breaks between classes, and you know, it's not always just like 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. every single day, you know. But I went to like the library. I made a list of all the things that I want to work on and that I feel are most important to me, which I think is good. You know, I used to have a bad habit of making lists like all the time. Like I would write lists of like things I want to do, but instead of doing those things, I would just write more lists, which sounds stupid. I'm sure there's someone out there who's had the same issue as me. It's kind of just like, you know, thinking about all the things you want to do, all the things you want, but then not working actively towards them. I think everyone kind of goes through that sometimes. But I actually did sit down and made a list. I can't remember what it was on it. I mean, I think the first thing on there was my music. I want to keep working on that because it feels important to me, even if I don't feel like furnished in it. I don't know what the word is. Good at it, like in the in the listener sense, but I feel like it feels good making music. And then after that, I think I wrote just take advantage of all the like possibilities, all the opportunities that this college has. You know, like I said, there's so many cool little classes and little clubs and stuff. It's like, you know, free experience, free learning. Then after that, I think I wanted to check out that, you know, I have that friend who wanted to do like some sort of student film. I'm like, I'm totally down for that. Like, I've never tried film really. I mean, I guess I'm filming myself right now. I'm getting like, but I never really like did like a film with like actual cameras. Oh, and then after that, I wrote work on it's kind of like a little personal project I have where I don't have my old diaries, which I really wish I had because I like had some I wrote a lot of diaries when I didn't have my phone when I was, living in shelters and hospitals and, constantly, being kicked out of places and moving and living with friends and all that shit. I wrote in journals all the time because like that was my outlet. That was before I got into music. That was before, you know, I started talking on here because I'm not gonna lie, this kind of helps sometimes, just talking like a lunatic to myself. But I wish I had those journals. But the project I have, I mean, it's kind of more of an independent me project, but I'm just putting together like all the recordings that I've written that I do have, and just kind of trying to put it all in one document. I don't know, I think it's just kind of cool. Probably be cool when I'm older. I'll just be like, oh, this is everything. Because my memories are only going to fade as I get older. I mean, I hope when I'm like 50, I can still remember like a good chunk of my life. Like, I'm hoping I don't like deteriorate all my memories, but I know like they're probably not going to get any stronger than they are now. So I think it's best to try to record or not like write down what you do want to remember while like as soon as you can before you forget it, while the memories are as fresh as they're ever going to be. So that's just like another thing. I don't work on it consistently, but just kind of when I'm burnt out from music or whatever, or just have a second, I'm just kind of have that like as a side little project. And then one of the other things I wrote, just maintain my grades, because again, I only just started and I'm already trying to do all this other shit, and it's like, okay, Lily, pass school. I know you can, but just don't overwhelm yourself too much. And what was the other thing? I swore I wrote like down like 7 or 8 things. That's all I can really remember. I mean, obviously, and then job is like a huge priority, but I don't even have to say that at this point because I've already drilled that into my mind. Money, I do need money, but while I'm unable to get money at the moment because of my stupid social security card, and while I'm waiting for that work study program to get back to me for the school, those are my goals. I think it's good to keep that in my mind because I would say I don't get distracted super easy. It probably helps that I'm not really able to see a lot of friends in foster care. I mean, obviously, if I could, I would. I'd probably be fucking partying every weekend. I won't lie. I probably would be so much less productive if I could see my friends. Like, I'd be ruining myself. But so maybe in one way it's good. But obviously, if I could see my friends, I'd probably be way less productive than I am now. Already complaining about. So yeah, maybe in some sick way, not sick way, but maybe in some way it is good for me. I don't know. I think socializing is a good, important thing. I think it's funny that I was like a shy introvert my whole childhood. I'm still in my childhood, but my whole like little childhood. And then now that I'm older, I'm actually like a pretty extroverted. I love being around people. I love hearing people. Again, like I'm talking about myself right now, but honestly, like I love just listening to people for hours. Like I'm not even. I mean, I can be a conversationalist person, obviously, but most of the time in conversations, I just like hearing about other people because I already know everything I know about myself. Like, I'm not gonna really, I mean, maybe I will, but I don't really learn new information about talking about myself. I learn more information about hearing other people talk about themselves. Maybe there's someone out there who, actually, I don't know. I just like listening to people. But, I mean, now I'm in college, so now I am allowed to see people. I guess not that I'm not allowed to see friends in foster care, like, that's not, like, written in the fine print. It's just, I haven't really had that opportunity because I'm kind of living on, like, a farm in the middle of nowhere. And it's really strict. Again, like I'm 16. I mean, I know that's not old, but if I want to see a friend, if I want to go to a friend's house because I'm in foster care, their like family has to get like a background check, which I feel like that's like a lot. Like, if I meet a friend, I would be like, oh, by the way, if I go to your house, you have to get a background check, or else I'm not allowed to go there by my foster care agency. Like, I don't know, it feels like a little much. But now I'm able to see people in college. I'm able to meet new people. I feel like this is like one of my least. I don't really have any themes in these video rants, whatever you call them. This was like my least. This is the one where I just talked about myself. I didn't really get to any deep point about questioning the world and life. But I mean, college is what's on my mind right now. I can't really make myself talk about something that's not relevant to me. And this week, the most relevant thing to me has been college. So that's my week. That's my little recap. Bye. I should sleep. I went to bed at like 2 a.m. the other night. Just what was actually no, I was trying to learn that fucking stupid Guns N' Roses song till like 2 a.m. the other night. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even doing that the whole time. I did that for like a couple hours, and then I was just kind of, I don't know, rotting around. But then last night I went to bed at like 9 p.m., which is like so early, and I felt really mad at myself because I was like, I should be working on that Guns N' Roses song. Why are you going to bed at 9 p.m.? It was probably because I stayed up so late the other night and then I was smoking, which I shouldn't be doing that, because when I do that, I become useless and I can't, like, I literally can't even make myself play music when I do that because, I don't know, I'm fucking lightweight or something. So it's like, I know I shouldn't be doing that, because if I'm getting mad at myself for not being productive, and then I do that, making myself unable to be productive, it's like a whole self-hatred thing. But I'm gonna stop recording now and work on that Guns N' Roses song. Good night, good morning.